Hello, welcome to School Pro episode 12. And in today's episode, we really took it to the next level and we have made it much better. And I cannot wait to show you what we actually did in today's episode. So let's just start with logging in into School Pro. And this is now a school. Let's say the school administrator or the can be a teacher or any person who want to log in into this school. So just going to try this Oklingi, who is an administrator to a particular school. So of course he's going to go ahead and add his password, right? So just adding the email and the password, and you can see welcome back Timothy Okling, and this is an admin at Hillside Primary School, right? So this you can see right now we get a nice interface showing us some statistics. How many students we have, how many teachers, how many parents, how many classes. And you can see we have 0 students. If you go to actually students, you will see that we must be having 0 students. And by the way, this is a hosted version. And if we go back to the overview, you see we have teachers. If you go to users and you go to teachers, we have 0 teachers. And if you go back to the overview, you see we have parents. And if we just go back to users, parents, we have 0 parents. But for the classes, actually we have 1 class. So if I just go academics and I go to classes and streams, you will see that we actually have 1 class, which is P1. Okay, so before I create anything from this, I want to actually log in to another school, because this is a particular and a different school. Okay, before I do anything, I just want to go ahead, log out to this one, and let's log in to another one. Now this one, we have another user with this Mutunji at admin. This is also an admin at another school. And just like try to log in at this point. I'm not sure. Is that the password? I'm not sure. Yeah. So you see, now we log into another school. This is Unique High School with a different logo, and this is another administrator. And he logs in. He has 2 students, 2 teachers, 3 parents, and 4 classes. So you see, this is a different school with all different things. If we go to the students, we see that we have actually 2 students whom we can see their information. We can see that in senior 1, one is in senior 1, another in senior 1B, 1A and 1B. If you go and check these classes, for instance, and you just go to academics and you just go to classes, you really see that inside here we have senior 1. Sorry, if you just click on senior 1, you see like senior 1A has 1 student and senior 1B has another student. Okay, I can just go ahead and add, for instance, another student in senior 2. For instance, senior 2, let's create a stream here. We just want to say S2A. So this is going to be 2A, just like this. And let's create 2B like this. Okay, so we have 2 streams. And if you look at this, now S2 has 2 streams but 0 students. 2A has no students, and this. Let's go and create a student, for instance. And now we can just add 1 more student. And these students are going to be added in this particular school. And you should be aware that you need to have some parent, class, and stream to be able to create a new student. Okay, so let's just go down here. I'm just going to use a fake filter. We create a new student. Let's give them a parent. Just going to choose one of the parents here. and let's say choose senior 2, the one we just created, and it has two streams, 2A and 2B. I'm just going to put this one in 2A. You can just select, of course, nationality. I'm just going to give them the password, so just this one, the village, birth certificate, and all these religion and everything. You can just give this student an image. If you don't, you just going to use this one. I can make this student a private student. And also, I think that's the most important data. Save students, and let's see student created, and we have a third student who is in 2A. Okay, and if you just go to the overview, we need to have 3 students, and you can see now we have 3 students. Okay, and this is for this particular school. So we really did a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make sure that each particular school has its own data, and they are managing their own data, getting back the analytics. This is really great. So if I just log out and I go back to the school to confirm, I can log out from this one. Let's go and log in with another administrator, who is just going to be having this like the password, and they just go and see. So you see, we are back to Hillside Primary School, and it has 0 students, 0 teachers, and everything is like this. We can just like maybe go and test. For instance, we create like 1 parent or something. So we could just first go start with classes. In the classes, do we have under academics? For instance, if you just went to classes, and you see we have 1 class and there are no streams, so you can just come here and add a stream, and you say, for instance, P1A, and then create. Okay, I believe you just like create. Just going to refresh. Before you create classes, do we need anything? I'm just going to go here, add stream 1A. Let's just have maybe, do streams need to be unique? I'm not sure, but let's just like put like 1C. Okay, so new stream was created. I can close here, and you can see I have 1 streams here and 1C here. Okay, now you could just like build from this. You go and add subjects, you can add departments, and all these things here for this particular school. Okay, so I'm not going to go ahead and create all this data. It's a lot of data. As you can see from the overview, we have teachers, parents, and all this. I gave you an example using the other school, but this was really great. So if you want to see how we did all this, let's dive in and get started. Hello, welcome back to our episode 12. So in today's episode, we're going to look at making things work the way we had done them before our previous episode. And if you looked at in our episode 11, what we managed to achieve in episode 11, we did a couple of things. If you remember, we started actually slowly, and we end up implementing this whole system whereby the super admin can create a school, and the school admin can log in, and then we set the school and all these details, and we have them now in our application. If you remember, it started with the login, and then on the login, you can see we actually create a server session, and then that's why we're able to do things like get server, like this, get server user. So we set the server session here in this auth, And then if you just go back to the login itself, you see that afterwards we fetch the school and we set this school in the global stand store. And this is really important when it comes to making or persisting the school within the whole system. And so that's why we have the school logo persisting. We have this name coming from also the session data, and we have all this information within here. So what we want today, by that time, right now we don't have, for instance, if we just go to classes and streams, they are not working. If we go to users, the parents, the teachers, all these ones are currently right now not working. So we want to make them actually work. Okay, we want to make them actually work so that they can we can have them now on these statistics here. Okay, so I just want to go ahead and start right away with that. So we have the students. Is the big one, and then we have the classes and streams. I want to believe that classes and streams are the fundamental here. So I would want to really start with the classes and the streams, because you cannot create a student without these classes. So you can see we don't have any single class. Now, if you just go back in our API, just a little bit, and if you just go back to our API, and let's go to the schema just a little bit, you will see, for instance, creating, if I may just search here, I could just like do a class. Okay, I just want to do a class right now. So if you just go into class, you see right now it does take everything, the title and the slug, but now it has one more thing it saves in, that is the school ID that we need before we create a class. Okay, so this is really important when it comes to that concept. So we need to get this the school ID in the form. So let me just go back to the class form. Let me just say class form. So we have the class form here, and you can see it has everything it wants. So you should be able to actually access the school and the school ID. So for instance, if we wanted to get the entire school, we can also get the entire school by just coming here, and we can just say, for instance, const. I'm just going to say const, and then we could just use school store. So we have the school store, that this is the one that is actually saving all the information about the school. If I just go inside here, you can see we have the school within the store and set school. So you can access the school, and on this school you can see it has these properties on the school. Therefore, I can just come to where I need this form of this data. So before we reach now here on this class create data props, you see in the create class data props, we need to see what is there. So right now we have the title. Okay, I believe the slug is generated at the backend. I want to believe so. Let me just go to the API, just API classes. Let's see. So create, now in the create class this side, you can see we generate the slug from this side. So if I just go to create class, now you see right now it has the school ID. So we need to add the school ID inside this for the web. So here in this, let's add the school ID in the class of create this. So if I just go back to the form, we have the title and the school ID. So now I can just go and say data dot school ID is going to be equal to school dot ID. Okay, now you can just devote this to an empty string for it to save very well. So with only this, we should be able now to create actually a class. With is, I'm just going to try. Let's refresh. Okay, I'm just going to go and click on this, add new class. I'm just going to start with senior 1. So just going to say S1. Let's add. Okay, school was added, S1 with 0 streams. Let's just add like also S2. Okay, I'm just going to add S3. I'm just going to add also S4. Okay, so I have my 4 classes right now. As you can see, we have back the classes. Now we need to go and start creating streams within this class. So for instance, if I want to create in senior 1, I simply just click on this class, it gets selected, and now we can create a stream within this one. So I just need to check also the stream, go back to the API, and let's check inside the schema right now of the stream here. If you go in the stream, you see you need the class ID, and now you also need the school ID. So the same thing, we need to pass in the school ID. So I'm just going to simply, and when using this user ID, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and do what? Okay, so I want to go to the stream form, and in the stream form we have stream create, and now we just need to add one more thing, which is going to be the school ID. So I'm just going to come here and I say school ID, just like this. So we add in the school ID. Okay, and now we need to go ahead and add it, and the first thing is getting the school from the school store. So you say const, and this is going to be use school store, just like this, and then you can access now the school. And now I can just go ahead and get the on the create here. I just need to add one more thing. Data dot school ID is going to be equal to school dot ID. Okay, just something like this. Okay, so I can now just go ahead and save this and try to create some streams. Let me just reload the page. Go ahead and select the stream, senior 1, add stream. I just want to add 1A, just like this, 1A. Okay, so senior 1A is there, and 1B. Only 2 streams. Yeah, so you can see we have also this one really now working. So the next thing right now is to go and see that I will just go back to the student at this point, and we see no, not before that, we have also the departments. I think under academics we have classes, we have subjects. Yes, so we should be able to have subjects, and then we have departments. That do we work on like subjects? I don't think so. I don't remember, but I just go ahead and see. Oh, I think before that you have to work on the departments, right? Let's first look at the departments. Okay, so departments, if you just check the error properties of an undefined name. Let's first go to the departments and see what is happening. Okay, so if you just go under academics departments page, okay, so you can see it gets all departments and then it just send them into the department listing. Okay, so inside the department listing, select the department, and I don't know why is it giving an error saying that cannot read properties of reading name, and you can see it is actually inside the department listing. Okay, so what I'm just going to do, let me just go back to the department here. Dashboard departments, where we have these. So I don't know why this is returning anything and giving it to this. Okay, let me just first supply here we only receive the departments. I don't know if it is this. Okay, so we can't just like protect, because I guess there is selecting the first department. Okay, so we could just like go here where we have this here, and we could just say instead, maybe inside, I don't know whether it is inside or not, we have this side where we have the department form, and then we have this side where we have the list. This is mobile sidebar. Okay, just going to do this. Then we have the main content. So this is, I think this is the one which is bringing the error, like the selected department name. Okay, so in this case, if there are no departments, okay, so for instance, inside here we have the teachers and everything. So inside the main content, okay, like teachers. Okay, so right now we can just create in such a way that if there is no departments, let me just also go here and then go here. Okay, so we could just like check. We could just like, let's have this, and let's go ahead inside here, just going to do a check. So we're just going to say if departments, Okay, just like if departments and departments dot length greater than 0. If this is true, then we just go ahead and show this as else we just say p no departments. The problem with this, we don't want to actually hide the create button. Then how would we create if we hide everything? Okay, let me just go back. We don't want to hide the form for creating a new department, so we can just only actually hide the part, for instance this one, which is mapping departments, that's a title. So we can start with this scroll area. For instance, let me just cut this one. I'm just going to say if departments dot length is greater than 0. If this is true, then let's show the scroll area else. Let's say we don't have no departments. Okay, and then let's go to this one, the exact same thing, just in the mobile. This is the mobile view. I'm just going to say departments dot length greater than 0. If this is true, then we show this, else we just go ahead and we say there are no departments. Okay, depart. Okay, so the another part that is causing problem is this one for the selected department. So the place where we create a new department, I just want to believe, where do we create a new department? I don't know where. Okay, this is the place where we have this department form. Okay, so this whole part of the main, this one here, we can actually just hide this whole part. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that we just check department. We could just even just say check this selected department, like selected department dot, we could just say, and like if this is there, and selected department dot like ID, at least any of these. If these are there, then we can just also just go ahead and put this. So I think that error should now go. Just going to go ahead and refresh. Yeah, so you can see on the departments we have this one which says no departments. I'm just going to go and fix it by giving it a simple class. Where is it? So while we have these no departments here, maybe just give it a P of maybe 4, I don't know. Okay, just go also on top here. Let's just say P of 4 right now. Okay, no departments, right? So but we have this create new department. So before we create, we need to change the create form. So I'm just going to go to the department form here and just make sure that now the department create props, we need to add in the school ID. So if you remember this side, we can check on the department. So we have the department here. So the department, as you can see, it has actually a name and a flag. Now we need the school ID. These other ones are not really required at the beginning. So here it takes in on this. I'm just going to go ahead and add in the school ID, which is going to be a string, like so. So if I just go back to the departments in the listing itself, actually in the form, now you will see that in the form department create, we have now the school ID, and that is great. So what I can do, by the way, we don't need this user ID. So what I can do right now, is I can access the school. So just go ahead and get the school from the store. So const is equal to use school store, and then from here we can actually just get the school, and then from that we can just come here in the data dot school ID is going to be equal to school dot ID. So that is the school right now. So we should be able to create now the department. So let's go ahead and create the department. Let me just refresh one more time. Okay, just go back here and let me just go and say that new department, there is a mathematics department. I don't think we need to add anything else, just like add mathematics. Okay, so after adding this, we actually have an error. I don't know what happens. Cannot read properties of an undefined ID. And I think this comes from, this come from the listing. Here you put the is it this place here? I'm not sure if it is this one or it is on the selected. This is it like this, selected and then selected.id. I'm not so sure. First of all, I'm not so sure if the department was created. We can just go ahead and test that. Just going to go to cross this API and let's open the School Pro API. I'm just going to go to, like, we don't have many, like, just go here and just one test for departments. Departments. I'm not sure if the API is running right now. Okay, so this is the one we have just created right now. Okay, it is there. So I'm wondering what is causing the problem. I'm sure it might not be this one. Let's try to say the selected name. I don't think it is this one. It might be on this departments.length greater than 0. We have departments.map. I don't think that should be a problem. I really don't. Let's just try to refresh. Okay, so right now we have this. Let's create another department, and we see. I'm just going to go ahead and create the chemistry department. Okay, let's just see what actually happens. Okay, so we have the chemistry department. We just have maybe the geography. So you just have the geography department. Oh, is that how they create geography? We haven't added the edit functionality to this. We soon add the editing functionalities. But right now, let's move with these 3 departments. So we have these departments. We can move on to and by the way, we'll check now in the fetch part. We'll check in the fetch part in a second. I will show you the problem we have right now, but let's just first create. So right now we can move to the subjects. Okay, we can sort of move to the subjects. Let's just go to see the subjects and what could be the problem. So we have also subject listing. I guess it has the same problem. It has departments, which I believe we have. So the only place we have to check is the form. If we can leave the form, we can hide others. So here I'm just going to go ahead because this is having all the subjects. So we can just say also that if subjects dot length is greater than 0, and okay, so just say if this is true, then we show this, else we just go and just say, I'm just going to say p of 4, and he said here just going to say h2, and we just say no subjects, just like that. Great. Then of course we have to do them still on this. Okay, we have to do the this on this here, subjects, subjects dot length greater than 0 if this is true. I don't know what I did there. Subject dot length, if this is true, then we just go ahead and show this, and then I'm just gonna say errors. We have p4, and we just say h2 no subjects here. Okay, then here where we have the selected, I believe we also do the selected thing. So for the main content, we can actually just like take off all this whole entire thing, and we can just say if subjects, for instance, dot length, like you could just also do this and selected subject, and so you could just say if and selected subject, and then when that is true, so like I believe okay, so then you just say and then we paste this. Now we could just actually go to the selected. We could do option chaining for all these because I'm not sure if the school, for instance, this is going to be always there. Okay, let's go and see. I think at this point this should be okay. Let me refresh the page. Okay, we have that weird behavior of the school changing from school pro to unique. I think we will fix it. So you can add a new subject and just going to say, for instance, math. Okay, the subject is going to be mathematics, and then this is going to be math, like can be like math 01, sort name math, core, this is core, and this is theory, and then the department is going to be mathematics. And then let's go ahead and add this. Okay, so we have the same problem, ID, and I think I don't know if just like the problem, I believe it must be the ID. I don't know if the ID on the subjects dot length, because here we have the ID. I'm not so sure, because here we have also the name. I just like do this for now. Not sure if it is this ID here, because for this we could just like use the index. If just like this ID. Okay, like I'm not so sure what is where the problem is right now for sure. Let's just try to refresh without actually creating anything and see. I don't know what that problem really is. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another subject. Let's try to create maybe geography or something. Geography, and this is going to be maybe like I don't know, man. Like, what is the paper for geography? Maybe 340. I don't know. And then the short name of this is. Do people just like say jog? Okay. This one is. I don't know. Like, is it an adjective or core? Guys, like in places like, does geography be an elective or core? Like, this is also theory, department, geography, and add. So you could just like go ahead and just like add different things like subjects. Let's add one more, chemistry, and this is going to be chemi, and then this side is going to be chemi, and this is core, and this is both, I think, is practical and theory, and then this is chemistry art. Okay, so we have the departments, subjects. Now I think at this point we can move on. So we have all these three things working. We could just like move on to I think at this point, students. So the students, we have also the same problem. If we go to the students, we have a list problem. Let's see what is going to happen with the students. Okay, so the students, we have students, and then we have 0 students. So just go and say add student. In this form, this is where we should have some problems. Okay, so we have this the student, and now one thing, of course, that also changes when we are creating a student. So if we just go to the students, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can just have the students. Okay, so you can see now we have also the school ID attached to the student. Okay, so nice. So what I just want right now is to go ahead and go to the student form. So just go to the student form. It is a huge form for sure. The only thing we just need to add into this is the school ID. I'm just going to go to the students here and check what do we do here. So students, check if the school already exists. Okay, like existing, get all these checks done. Okay, so before we create the student, because the student is going to be actually logging in, so you can see there is nowhere in any place, because remember as we are sending all this information, okay, we are saving all this information right now. I want you to remember that this is going to be a user who is going to actually log into a particular school, right? So this one has to be created also under the accounts of people who are going to log into the system under that school. So meaning that we might need to create, because as you can see here, we have somewhere the password, I believe. Yeah, you can see we have somewhere the student password. So this one has to be actually created as a user before we save them to the database, because they are going to actually log in. So the easiest way would be we could just like go here and use this create user. Okay, not login user. I just need create user. So if you just see in create user, you can call this function because it's exported. We can call it anywhere, so long as we pass in these things: the email, password, and the role, and the name. And then we could pass in also the student image, the phone, school ID, and the school name. Meaning that if we just like sending, by the way, this, that means like we also need a school name. Okay, which is not a problem. That we just need to send also the school name. So we get this information, we send it to create user, and then we go ahead and create our student very nicely. So if I go back to the student here, create, there is one thing that we need to add in though, into this student create. If you check it right now, we must have added actually the school ID. Okay, now that we need also the school name, let's go ahead and also add the school name. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the school name, just like this. And these two things, just copy them. These two things, we could just go ahead and do what? We could just go ahead and also check in the student form this side, while we have the student props here. We have all these things. We need to add in these two ones, the school ID and the school name. I think everything remains exactly the way it is. If there is any problem, we note that. So I'm just going to go here back to the school form, save. So the only thing I'm just going to do is I'm just going to access the school. So const, let's go ahead and get the school from the use school store. And then here we just get the school like this. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and say data dot school ID is going to be equal to school dot ID, and then I'll just so data dot school name is going to be school dot name. Okay, just like this. So I've added the school ID and the school name. All other things like passwords and everything, all is inside already. So the only thing we just actually need to see is that where we are sending this create student, it takes in data. Since this is still also taking in the student props, we send this data to this API, and then in the API it receives this. Let's just go to where. So in this in the API side, we go to the students, and you can see we have create students, and then we receive this information here. Now this one should now has the school ID and the school name, and everything is there. So what we just want to do is, if everything, these checks are all okay, so before we create the student, we just need to first create a student as a user. Okay, so you just first create the student as a user. Now, as we said, these ones, they all became profiles. If you remember in the previous episode, if you just go back, you will see that if you just go to the user, or if you just go to the student, you see that the student has a relationship of one-to-one with the user. So the student is actually a whole profile for the user called like a student user. Like if you just go to this, you see that in the roles we have actually the student. So student is a user, and then the student itself, that mode of the student is actually the student. This one is a profile. Okay, so before we create the profile, we actually first create. And if I'm not mistaken, if you just go back to the student, we actually need a user ID. Okay, you can see we need a user ID in the student. Let me just confirm we have that in the controller. So the controller students. So if just creating, we need now the user ID. Okay, so we need first create the user here. So just say const, okay, const user. So this is going to be user now is equal to await create user. Okay, create user. And then we need to pass in this data that matches. If you just go to create user, they need in this data here. So we could just go and first create actually this object up to here. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the student and then just say const user data is equal to just this object here. Okay, so we need the email. So this should be we'll be getting all this information from the data here. We might not be able to abstract all this, but we could just say, for instance, this is data dot email. We know it is there, and then the password, we know this is going to be data dot password. Just put commas here, and then the role. Now for the role, of course, we just need to go ahead and pass in student. Okay, and then next is the name. I'm not sure here if we have the actual name, but we might just like join it. So let me see if I have the name. Data dot name. Yeah, actually I have the name, and then I have then the phone. So you can just go ahead and just say data dot phone, and then we have the image. I'm just going to say data dot image URL. Okay, just like this. Now we have next the school ID, which we have now from the also the data dot school ID, and lastly is the school name, which is going to be data dot school name. And now after getting this is what we pass in this, in the user data right now. So you say user data. Okay, so he's saying here we still have a problem. I don't know why is still saying there is a problem. Expected 2 arguments but got 1. Really? Let's go to the create user. Oh. I don't know if that will be possible. I believe. Okay, what we could actually do is, how do you call this if I wanted to use, let me just like ask ChatGPT that if I wanted to use this in any other function, how would I use it? Let's just say cloud. Okay, if I'm just gonna say if I had this function, okay, and I want to use this function in another function, how would I use it? How would I use it? Let's see. I know, like, how do you pass in the request and the response? Okay, I have no idea of how you can do that. Okay, so right now I might need just to go back and I upgrade like the amount of torture if you're not just on the pro plan that these people of cloud they give you is unbelievable. Right now I'm on a free plan, but things don't really go well if I use it of the paid plan. Handle a function designed to work with HTTP. So you can see here, and also this is an endpoint handler function designed to work with HTTP requests and responses. To reuse this logic in another function, we should separate the core user creation logic from the HTTP. So let me show you how we can refactor this. Okay, so this is nice actually. So you can create the create user service function in other function. Here is some example how to use it. So for instance, we can also have like using another API like by create user, and then it actually creates the user. We're using it in the background job, using in a GraphQL resolver. Okay, you know why it gave me all these. But if you just look at the refactored logic, it has now user service, and then now has all these bloody has this async function that takes in this, checks if a user exists, checks the email, and has this logic. And then here just new user and then return new user. And then in the HTTP endpoint, we can just say new user is a way to create a user service, and then you pass in request dot body, and then you can return back this. This is, I think, good for this purpose, I believe. Okay, can I just extract this? just Ctrl C, and I'm just going to go to, okay, just like this. We can export this in the user. Okay, just we have the export, create user service, and then checks existing email, user create error. Where is this user create error comes from? I don't know why this whole thing of user create error is a class which extends error, and then like has this. Jesus, like we could just say throw new. For now, I'm just going to say throw new error. There will be just like this. Okay, and then hash the password, then user data. We remove the password, and then we go ahead and user.create, and then we pass in the new user was created successfully. We return the user, and then now in the create user here, we could actually just get the data, and then even if we remove all these things, where is it? And we pass them in the create user service, because this takes in the user create props. Nice. So we just go ahead and remove all these checks, just like this. Hash the password. Okay, so this place here, so this is where we go and okay, and this place here, this is where we get the new user, just like this. Where is it? Okay, so this is where we have the create new user is equal await create user service, and then we have this. I think this is more nice. This should just also work. We will test this, and we're just going to. So now the good thing is we separated this create user service outside, that we can call in any other place. So if we just go back to the students, we can just create user service just like this, and takes in the user data. Why are we having this here? And let's see the role. Okay, so for the role, we can just say student as user role, user role. Okay, so that is nice. And then now we just go and create the user, and from the user we can just get the ID. So I believe in the data that we have here, we can just say data dot user ID is equal to user dot ID, something like this. So we add in, before we create the student, we actually go ahead and add in the user ID of this newly created, so that this whole thing works. Okay, so if everything is okay, we should be able to successfully create a new student, plus this should be user, no, sorry, student. And another thing, we cannot create a student before a parent. Okay, I've just like seen it somewhere. We need to have the parent. You can see there is a parent ID. So at this point, we don't have the parent yet. So let's first go and see the parent. Before we create the student, let's just go to the parent. Thanks that we have separated in a service now, right now, we'll do the same exact thing. Let me just first go back to the parent a small bit. Just go back to the UI and let's go to users. Let's go to parents. Really, so the session right now has expired. Let me just go ahead and log in. I'm not sure, I still remember the credentials for the login, but let's just go ahead and see if we can log in. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the user's parents, and we have 0 parents. Let's go and try to add a new parent. So if you just go to the parent, we actually don't have really much information. That the only thing we just need from the parent, if you just go back to the Prisma schema here, and if you just go and check with the parent, I'm very sure there is a parent relationship here. You can see, first of all, it has also the user, because these parents will be able to log in. So this is a parent profile. And then down here, we also need a school ID and the school name. So the same thing we did. If I first go back to the web, I will just go just a small little bit down here to where we have the forms. Maybe just go to the parent form. Just going to go to the parent form, and then we're just going to first get the school. So I'll just go const, and then I'll just go and get the use school store, and then from this we can access the school. Okay, so we make sure that the parent props include those two things. Export parent props. We make sure that we add 2 properties, that is the school name and the school ID. So here we're just going to have the school ID, and down here is going to be the school name, these 2 things. Now if I just go back to the form here, okay, I like renaming these things. Let's just rename this to parent. Make sure even down here becomes save parent, and let's go back to the save parent function. So let's just like add these 2 things, that dot school ID is going to be school dot ID, and just like this, and then finally I'm just going to say that dot school name is going to be equal school dot name, just like this. So we add these 2 things. So at this point, everything should be actually okay. So then we send this to we send this data to the create parent, and then the create parent already is using this, and then send this data to the API parents. And in the API parents, if we just go back to the school, to the API, let's go to the parents. We have this. In the parent props here, we make sure we actually have the school ID and the school name. Okay, so after having those being received very nicely here, we need to go ahead before we save this. There is also the user ID that we need before we create this. So we just need to go back to the students. We do the same technique we did here. Where is it? Here. So I just need these two things. In fact, these three things here. So from user data to actually adding the user, copy this and let's go back to the teachers. So before we create the teacher, we actually first create this. We get the user data, and then this is going to be the parent role, and then the user role, just import it. And this, I think, for the parents, we don't have the name on the parents. If you just go here, you can see on the teacher create, we have only first name and last name. Okay, so we can just go here and modify a little bit. So we could just simply create this by simply joining the first name data dot first name and combine it with dollar data dot last name. So we could just say combine and we create the name, and then we also seem not to have the school name. Let's go ahead and confirm that by going to teacher create. I wonder on the teacher create, how comes it doesn't have that? Just go to teacher create. Teacher create props, we have the school ID, and we should also have the school name. And you can see how Typescript is really helping us to handle this. So just go to now teacher create service is still screaming. I don't know why. Just because we actually haven't imported this. Create user. Now we create the user, we get the user ID, and then we add it in the data. Then we go ahead and create the new teacher. Now what I'm just going to do is to actually first push this API thing. So I'm just going to say git add dot and git, because the one we are using is online, git commit. I'm just going to say that I modified the teacher and the student, and just say go ahead and do git push, just like this. Okay, so there is some problem with the command I wrote. Okay, just go back here like this, git commit -m, just like this. Let me push one more time. Okay, so this pushed, and hoping that this is going to go ahead and deploy. So we have to wait a little bit for this to deploy. So right now, if we just check, you can see I pushed here. Just go to Rate, see our API. You can see modified teachers, and it deployed successfully, meaning that now this parent API we should be able to work. Okay, it should just go ahead and create a user called with these details, and it should also be creating a profile for a parent. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. I'm not so sure how this is going to work, but just put here father, mail, phone number, and all these details. Occupation, let's say, is a farmer. Address, just going to leave that. WhatsApp number. The only thing that is very important is this password. Just going to go ahead and put in a password, this one, and I'm going to try, fingers crossed, let's try to create a parent. Save the moment of truth. Saving, many things are happening and we are not successful. Okay, we have some error. I have no idea of where to start from right now. After having this error, what happened? Why couldn't it be created? Type error, cannot read properties of an undefined. Okay, this is for a long time. Scroll down to where we have. Okay, so we have avatar, then we have these columns. Well, there is some problem with columns. And just scroll down. Okay, there is a fail to create a parent. Okay. On the API side, I don't know what could have gone wrong. So we have to test different pieces. I don't know, like, does the API give you like the logs or something? You're just like going to these the logs here. Okay, so there is under the logs here, there is Prisma parent create invocation, and if you look at the data, is trying to create also the user argument. User is missing. If you look in all this data, I don't see the user ID. Usually we just need to pass in the user ID. I thought we actually did that. Like, we added data.user ID. This is the was this part created first of all? Like, we add it here, and then before we create this, can I just check on this data? First, wait. So if I just go, before we add the user ID in the teacher create, do we have the user ID? I think that's what. Yeah, you can say we have the user ID here, right here. Okay, so I might just need to now do more debugging of what is actually happening. So the two ways we can confirm this is at this checkpoint here. I could just go and say console.log the user ID user, okay, I think you say do user, and then also let's do data, because at this point I'm trying to modify the data object before even we move this really far. So I'm just going to comment this. You may just need to really work like locally at this point before we just like push it. We just capture the errors. So for now, just going to return let's just return the user. Can I just say go temporarily? We use the, let me just go to, so the only place we can change this, I believe, is the env. So our API URL here, we can just work with can I just go here and see that we are running on port just 8000. Just copy this. Now temporarily I'm just going to just use this one, HTTP localhost this. Let's just try this and see, so that we get the bugs not to go to this side, so that we just get them locally. I'm just going to right now, it actually set all the data. So let's just go ahead and try to send back all this data. Okay, the only important thing is the password. I might just like add the password generator for sure. This whole thing of remembering to this password, I'm just going to, I might put a password generator here where we can generate a strong password, like a suggested password on this password input, because I feel like it is somehow stressful. Okay, so we have all this information. I'm just going to try right now and save. Let's just see actually what is happening on the API side. So if everything is okay, it's going to hit on this here. It should go ahead and create the user. Oh, okay, so parent with the phone already exists. That's the error we have here. Really, like, user is missing. Okay, I don't know all this. Why didn't we have the user? I'm trying to find the dots here. Sorry. So we have this DB invocation, and so we have this parent with this phone already exists, and blah blah. And then here in the invocation, we don't seem to have the user. What is going on? We have this. Oh, wait. Am I creating the teacher or parent? This whole thing, I'm creating it on the teacher, right? Jesus Christ. This is create teacher. Oh no. Okay, so this is create teacher, not create parent. Oh no, 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 no. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh. I wish someone was seeing and like could just like help me and tell me like, oh, what are you doing? I'm sorry guys. This one has to be even teacher. This can't be like parent, where okay, we are getting all these kind of weird problems. We are in wrong place. Okay, this is going to be new teacher. Before I just like let me first put back all these things here. Okay, so we just need to go to the parent. Like, I don't know why were we doing all these things on this. Anyway, the teachers, of course, we need this. Okay, but we're right now dealing with the parent. Okay, let me just copy all this, go to the parents. Oh no, I feel so bad right now. We're just like on parent, and I'm just like modifying all these things for teacher. Who does that? Okay, you can't say like bags are for real. You can't just like have the bag and then like, you know. So just go here and I just change this to parent, and then up here I'm just going to go and make sure that we actually have these on the parent props. We need to make sure that we actually have the school name and the school ID. And you know, I was changing on this the parent props. I see we already have the school ID and the school name. Okay, so I believe at this point, let me go and try to create and see what is going to happen. Just go to teachers, and then we have this create. So it creates the same thing. It creates the teacher. Where is it? We create the data first. Okay, after creating the data, and then we go ahead, we get the user from creating the user, and then we get populate this with this, and then we go ahead and create the teacher, and then we return the teacher. Now let's just extend one more time. Just let's say go ahead and save. Now I don't know if this is using the offline one or the online one. I have no idea, but let's just go ahead and see. Okay, so we still have, I think, a problem. Let's go ahead and debug this. Okay, failed to create the parent. This is on the web. Let's go back to the API, and then we just see what we have. Argument user. So this time, okay, so at this point here, you can see the parent was created. You can see the password, role, name, all these things were created. And then down here we have all these, but then we have db.parent.create const user is equal with this, and then I'm like data.user. Why are we consoling like this? New parent. Okay, school name. Oh, okay, so school name is something they don't understand where it is coming from, and the problem is actually we added it. If you just go back to the API, you remember I actually went ahead and added it in within here. Where is it? So if you just look at these teacher props, we added the school name for the purposes of actually capturing it in here on the data. So when we send this data, actually with it inside the are we still in the teacher right now? Sorry guys. So in the teacher, in the parent props, we added these two things, the school name and the school ID. But in the actual creation of the parent, you only need the school ID, not the school name. So alternatively, we could add the school name to the database, or or if we go back here, we could remove it before we actually push this this data. We could just like remove it before we bring it here. The problem is it has this parent props. It is only one field. I think if you just go to the schema and then you go to the parent here, you see that we have the school ID. We could just simply just like add the school name just like this, and we could just say this is not required, but still like we don't have any teacher right now. So even if I don't put this, we don't have any teacher or any student or any user right now we have created. So just going to add the school name. In this, I will also add it in this school ID. We could just go ahead and add the school name, and then within the also the teacher. Student is not related to the teacher. If I just go to class, do I have anywhere teacher? I don't know where I don't have the teacher anywhere in this matter. So I'm just going to say teacher. Just go here and let's go to the teacher. Also add. So we had somewhere where we had the school. Where are we having the school ID here? Somewhere down there we must be having the school ID. So just add the school name. I'm just going to go ahead and push this. So stop everything. And then let's go ahead and just say PN. So npx Prisma. Prisma DB push, and then we can just say have npm run dev, just like this. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and like the video. Let's push this. Okay, it's taking some minute. Let me hope we don't have any conflicts right now, because we don't have any created user right now. I don't know if the users, I think the users have been being created if you just go to the school API and then you just like get all users like here. Oh, okay. This is still in the waiting. I don't know what's going on right now here. Like pushing the schema, this takes too long on Neon. Okay, just like wait. Meanwhile, if you're liking the project, please, you can just go ahead and support. And I think this is, I don't know if this is the last video before Christmas. And I want you to wish everyone a really Merry Christmas and a prosperous Happy New Year. If I don't create any other video, but I believe after Christmas I will resume. Or even just like in the 20s, I might create other episodes to depend. Previous days, actually, I wasn't feeling well. I was having some, was ill, and I couldn't go ahead and create some content. But these days, I'm just going to go ahead and create some content. Okay, so something finally happened. Let's push again. I really believe that it must be like server has closed the connection. What is that? Let's just like give this a second. Is this like internet or anything? I don't know what is causing. Okay, so basically right now database is in sync and it has started the server, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and push the data one more time. Just go ahead and save the parent and see what is going to happen. Okay, I'm just going to go back to this side and I'm saying email already exists. Okay, so just let's refresh. We can see that things are really working actually. So I'm just going to go here and just give the password and just go ahead and save the parent. Fingers crossed and successfully created. Okay, this is good, and we have the parent, and you can see parent created successfully. We have all this information. The first information is the user as a parent. Okay, so if you just go and check into the users, we should have this parent. So you can see we have this parent here with feels scary. This is a parent right here, and at the same time we have his profile being created. Okay, here. Okay, let's go ahead and now first of all take off these console.logs. We have where they coming from. In the create parent, so down here where we have these console.log, and the data. Okay, so this is good, and then we have this last one. I'm just going to leave this one. Okay, so this is good. I'm just going to create one more time, create one more parent, and then we know that this is working. I'm just going to change a little bit. This is going to be Mrs. Just say mother, and then just say female, date of birth. I'm just going to leave that. We can just say this is a Kenyan, and then let's say email, leave it like that. Occupation, let's change this one to email. Occupation, let's just say this one is a civil servant. Civil servant. Okay, I'm just going to go leave the address and just go ahead and change this to also this password. And let's go ahead. Now we could actually upload the image for this one. Also to test the it is good that we can test the image upload. Just going to use my image and let's see like if this actually works, because like we keep on like using this local image. You may think that actually the image itself is not working. Okay, great. They just go ahead and try to save this. So click save parent. And okay, did you know that we have a problem? Seriously, after now we have a problem right now? What are you talking about? Okay, then I have like the user parent created this. I'm not seeing any errors here right now. I don't know what happened. This is Espinosa. if you just go to the API, send users, this is there. If I just go to parents, let's get parents. I'm seeing Espinoza is here. What happened? Let's look at the image. Okay, yeah, let's just go. I'm just going to copy this and take, which image is this one? Jesus, I didn't copy the image. I could just even control click it or something. Okay, this is the image of this. What happened? I don't know what really happened. If I close, we have the parent, but it didn't say created. Okay, we'll check that. At this point, I just want to really go and check on the teachers. So these are parents. We need to create now the teachers. I don't know if we have anything much change in the teachers. I believe all the work we have already done, or the hard work with the teachers. Let's just go to teacher form. Okay, so we have the teacher. We just need to make sure that we are also just adding the we are also adding all the necessary things here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the school first. So you could just go ahead and say const, and then let's go ahead and use school store, and let's get the school. You could just say go to the parent and just get this here. So you just need to add these two things to the teacher. Okay, just data this. So before we just go and modify and we add these two things in here, we just add the school ID. So school ID, sorry, and then also the school name. So add those two, and then you come back here. We are good. You could save also this one. You say save teacher, and just go here. Also just call save teacher. Okay, so if we just go back here, everything seems to be, after adding these two, everything should be okay, I believe. The subjects and everything, I see they are coming really nicely here. Okay, I'm just going to go and do a fake field. Now when it comes to this side, we had already done this. Let's first go and do fake field. Okay, just make sure that everything is a male, Uganda. Then the password here, just going to add the password, and then we have the contact, this, then the SS select chemistry here, main subject chemistry, and subjects, let's add only chemistry and mathematics. Okay, great. So we can just say classes, teachers S4 and S3. Okay, great. And then let's say years of experience, let's say 6, address, and everything looks to be fine before we hit an error. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit this save and hope for the best. It is saving. Okay, successfully created. We have the teacher created. Okay, good. We can also create a second teacher. Let's go ahead and save this. Tiger Paris. I'm just going to change the password. Designation, of course, is maybe a teacher. Oh, designation can just like be something, I guess. Let's change this to maybe only geography subject, and then the main subject geography, senior 4, and I think that's enough. Okay, let's go ahead and upload the image to this teacher. Okay, this image is pretty small. Okay. I can't believe right now we're just looking for the image. I would just like really create without any teacher, right? We all know that. Okay, just going to go ahead and add this image for this guy here. Yes, I really want this also the image upload. We'll be very sure every part of the application is working as expected. Just go ahead, check everything looks good. Let's just go and save it. Just saving, please wait, and successfully created. We have the teacher here, right? This is nice. You can view all the teacher information, including the image and everything. The subject store, you can see here. We don't have the edits yet, but this is good. Okay, just going to close this and then like view teacher here. Okay, close. Okay, this is great. So the only thing that is remaining right now is the student. So we have the teachers and then we have everything. Let's go back and create the student. So under students directory right now, we still have 0 students. If I just go to add students, okay, we just have this. You can see, please make sure you already created the parent class stream for the student. Okay, so we can just create this student. Remember, for the student, we had already done some work here. If you remember very well, for the student, we had already done some work. If I just go back to the student form, actually, I remember we had already added the school and the school name, and they are already here. If you just go to the API, okay, and by the way, here we can just go and remove these consoles. They look really bloody. They are in the teachers. The last one were maybe teachers, and we can just take off this console. Okay, so I just want to go back to the students right now, and it is where we actually started this concept and get this and then pass this here. So the students should create with no problems, I believe. Let me go and just try to see anything we change. So this student is going to be in S1, and the stream is going to be S1A, and then the password, I'm just going to go in this nationality, state, everything here. Let me just leave the religion like that. Male, date of birth, date as a private student, and address, and this is the image. And let's go ahead and try to create this student and see. Did we select the parent? Select the parent. We have 2 parents right now. I'm just going to check this one. Okay, I think everything right now looks okay. Let's go ahead and create. Save student, please. Fingers crossed. Let's wait and see. Okay, we have a problem. Okay, so what is the problem? Just go to the API and let's scroll down. Okay, this is where that it is saying student created successfully. Okay, yes, like this student was called Brian. Like, what is going on, like, with the return of this? What is being returned from this API? You can see it has 201. 201. So what is happening in the student form? We are saying if everything is okay. So if this, we're not even just comparing what is getting back from the response, but we are saying if the student is created, set loading to false, and then toast successfully created, and then route to students. What is going on? They just like refresh. Oh, it turns out the session ended. Okay, like we need to extend this session. So just going to still log in as this person, and if you log in as a different person, it will be problems. If we log into a different school, okay, so let me go to students. Now we have actually this one student. Let's go ahead and create a new student to really know that this works or doesn't. So parent, there's like this time check to this one. Let's say this one is in S2. Oh, we don't have streams in S2, right? So we could just like first go and create some streams, or we could just like say senior 1, and then we say 1B. Okay, so I'm just going to go here, and we have everything created, I believe. Can change this to Anglican, Zmail. I'm just going to right now say is a private student, and I'm just going to say create. Okay, student created and successfully created, and then we come here. You can also view the student ID, and everything is good. You can see the admission of this one was 01, this one is 02, so which is really nice. Like in terms of what we said, everything is working. We have the class, this is in 1B, this is in 1A. So if we just go back to, for instance, to academics, and then we check on the classes and streams, they must have updated. So you can see senior 1 has 2 streams and 2 students. If you click on this, you can see the 1B has 1 student, and this one also has 1 student. Like, this is really nice. So there is still one problem though. Actually, we have all the modules wanted to work on, like the previous data, the parent teachers are all working. The problem we have right now is actually if I try to log into another person, let me just go to users and I log into a different user. Just go to get all users. Okay, I just need to go and see some user, for instance. Okay, there is this one, Timothy. Okay, I would just like want to know the this one, if I can log into this one. So I just want to show you a problem we have right now. So I just want to go ahead and log out from this. So this was this person, now logs out. This is a different, let's just go ahead and see that we can create a different session. Did I just click on logout? Okay. Then we should also work on this, clearing the when we log out the session, we should also go ahead and set off this of the browser. Of course, this has no problem because like different users will have different browsers, but we should work on that. Now, I'm not sure what is the login password for this person. I just try the same here. That's like, oh, I like right, creating the same password or something. Okay, so this is a different person. You can see this is Timothy and this is Hillside School. Now, let's see the drama. If I just go to the students, and we have two students in this school which actually doesn't belong to this school, because we know very well that these students are not for this school. Okay, so what is happening right now is just like, because in the fetch we need to make sure that in the fetch actually we are using we are fetching all these things based on the school. Okay, so at this point we need to fix this. Okay, we have two students. If you just go back to the academics, you go to classes and streams, you have all these streams and all these classes which are not for this school, but we are seeing them in this different school. So we have to make sure that everything is actually fetched upon the school, right? Okay, so how do we actually tackle that? So everything is going to be doing is going to be by the school ID. Okay, all these fetches we are doing, if you just go to let's start with all these fetches we have. If you just go back to the dashboard, let's say start with, for instance, if you just go to academics, you go to classes page, this is where we are fetching all the classes. So this point we're supposed to pass in actually the ID of the school, like where we get these get classes. You see this one is actually making an endpoint, but this endpoint actually is supposed also to take in the ID, meaning all these endpoints somehow they are going to change a little bit. Okay, they are going to change a little bit. Now, if you see, there are two ways we can actually get this. The first one, we could pass the ID from where we are getting here on this get await classes. We can just like get this from here. Okay, this is really possible. The approach I wanted to take was, so here we have to access the ID of the school, and then we go ahead and pass it in here. Okay, so that is one way we could, but then the question is, how do we get the school? Because the school is only accessible on the client side, because we have it only right now present in the school store. So if you just remember, we have it in the store, school store somewhere. So here in the store, this one is the one which is actually having the school. So maybe you have to change a little bit in the approach where we had in this here. So you can see we fetch the school. Actually, we save it in the zoo stand. And I also put here the cookie store, of which we actually didn't save the school in the cookie store. We actually need the school to be in the cookie store so that we can access it at the server. So if you check where that is happening, it is happening in the login. So if you just go ahead and just say login. So this is the login here where we actually get the session data, and then we log in, we get the role, and then from there we fetch this. We have await get school by ID, and we pass in this, and then we get this, right? So we're just going to leave this one here. Only I'm just also going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, get the school. Just go to the login. So this is login user function, which is actually getting everything and gets the so here we are creating the server session. Okay, we have to create another thing where we have this, we have create server session, which takes in the data and does all this. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this. Okay, then just going to say here save school. Okay, create, we say here create or create server school. Okay, create or save server school. It takes in the school. We already have somewhere the school, I believe, types for the school, and this we create the cookie store, and then we set now just going to name this also school, and just on the stringify here we just actually just put the actual data and HTTP. Now here just going to put the max age. Okay, this one, because this actually the cookie expires only in 1 hour. That's why we are just being logged out all the time. So just say go here and let's create just like this. I will remove this, and I will also remove this. We don't need those ones. Okay, so with cookie store we said we create the school, save everything secure, same site, and at the server only. So this one is going to help us to create the school. So you can just go ahead and wait for this. Return success true. I'm just going to go to while we are logging in the user here, after creating this, okay, we need just like await, do this, save school, and then we need to pass in the data. But where do we get the data? Actually, if you go back to the login, you don't know where it is right now, but if you just go back to the login, we just need to do this, and to get the school, I don't know if this is the place, so just go here and get the we can just get the school, get school, and then we have this. Now in this case is actually user data, user data dot user dot school, so we get back the school here, okay, and then we pass in this school here like this. And now here the types, because it's saying argument school or this type undefined is not assignable to this. I don't know what this gets back. This gets back school or undefined. Okay, for this particular user. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and await school. Okay, so I'm going to just say here as school. Okay, just like this, and then this we'll save the school at the server end. Hoping this is true now, we can create a function that gets the server the way we have get server school. So we have this get server user. We can create another one which says get server school. So here I'm just going to say get, okay, I'm just going to say get server school. Okay, so here we just get the cookie store, and then we get back the school, just like this, and then go ahead and pass cookie.value, as simple as that. Return, this is supposed to be school, okay, and then return the school as school. So okay, so something like this. So we have now get server school. So we can use this in any way we want right now. Okay, we can just use this any place we want. So if I just go back to academics, like so here, I can just now say const get server school. Now if we want to see this in action, we need to actually first log out. I'm just going to go here and say const school is equal to await get server school, just like this. Okay, and then we can just go ahead and console.log school. Okay, so this is now the school. I want to see this, right? I just want to see that. I'm just going to go ahead and log out, because at this point here we don't have anything. So let me just go back to this, and I'm just going to log out. You could just see the email log out. Okay, so I'm just going to go here and I say it was killing, and then let me go ahead and Okay, login. Let's see. Okay, so we log in. The difference right now is that if I go to academics classes, okay, we still see these things here, but one thing we need now is that we can see we have the school, but this is coming now from the server side. This is this console.log here, right? This is great at this point because we can now get and pass the ID here, get all classes, and we pass in the school ID. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead here, and then I'm just going to say get all classes, and then I'm going to pass in the ID here. So I will just pass in school dot ID, and then of course I just going to say like this. Now in get classes, I will accept ID of string. So here I'm just going to say ID string. This will solve the problem here. You can see we are good. If I go to get classes, we get this ID, which is actually the school ID. Okay, and now we need to pass this school ID within this API. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this to the API, just like this, $. Okay. What is happening? So these two things have to go outside. Classes and then slash, we need to pass in the ID. Now we already have, so we could just say classes, then school, and then the ID, because we already have the classes ID for getting a single school details. You say classes, then school, and then we pass in the school ID, just like this. Okay, so we make sure that now we work on this endpoint school ID. So just go ahead and start in the API. Let's go to classes. So you have just go through all these and work on them. Start from the routes actually. So we started with the classes. So we need to get, we're using this get all classes. I think this is the one. Classes. So right now what we need to do is get this classes slash school, and then slash, we just need to put the ID. So this is going to be the school ID, whether you put it as ID or school ID, we could just say school ID. So just remember that whichever you are going, you pass in here is what you will get from the other side. So if we just get classes by school ID, so school get classes by school ID. So you could just go to classes and we create this. I'm just going to go to get classes. So this is the one we're doing. We just need to do exactly the same thing here. Get classes by school ID. We leave everything, only that now this first actually gets the ID. So you could just say const I don't know, is it we can just get the school ID from the params? Is a request dot params, I believe. So you could just get the params, and then we could just say get classes, find many where. So now we have the where clause, and we pass in the school ID just like this. Put a comma here. So this should now work. Like we have get classes. Let's go to the routes, and then let's import this. Okay, so I should just get the ID of the school and try to check this endpoint. So we could just go to schools. Let's first get all schools. Okay, I just need this one hillside, which you can see here, hillside. This is the ID for hillside. Here I'm just going to say get. We could just like rename one of these, duplicate, and let's duplicate this one. We say get the classes for school, and just like here we have classes, and then we have school. So the ID of the school. This should return back an empty array, so like this, meaning that if I now should, yeah, actually before even we have now already empty this side, like we don't have any classes. You see, like there are no classes for this. I don't know, don't we have a class showing that there are no classes for this one? Let me just go, and we could make an interface much better, I believe, really, for the beginning. Like maybe just like where there is this search, we put the word no classes. Okay, just go to where we have classes on the web. On the web where we have classes, and to confirm, actually let's go to get schools. I want to get the one we are creating, which was unique. We are creating from unique. Just need to see where is unique. It is here. So just going to get this ID. You want to pass it into get classes for this school. Yeah, so you can see this one returns back these things. Okay, great. Let me just go back to this. I want to change it to be the UI to look much better. Classes, class listing. We get the classes and the selected class. We should leave the form. Okay, and then this search input, of which I don't think it works, and this. Okay, so all these two here, this and the scroll area, just going to cut them. I will just like, can you put this here, and then I'm just going to only show these ones if classes dot length is greater than 0. If this is true, then go ahead and show. Oh, did I have to do? So this is why you need these ones, right? It's why I need these to use these ones inside here, like so, and then the else part here. And then here we have no classes. Are these classes? Yes. So you have no classes, just like so. I believe like that. This one is not required, I think. Yeah, this one. Okay, so I think we have now a beta UI which says there are no classes, and then you can just go ahead and create now a class within this school right now. So just go ahead and create a new class. Maybe let's just create S1. Okay. Let's say this one is in primary, so you say P1 actually. Okay, just say P1, just like this. Okay, so you can see this one now has the P1 only one class. So we have to go ahead and do the same thing for the student, for the streams. Okay, if you just click on the streams, this one has no streams, but we have to go and also fetch the streams in the similar way. The good thing here is that these are fetched, the streams are fetched in under the classes. So if we control the classes, we actually also have the streams done, but there is where we get the streams here. We're just going to get into that in a second. There is where we have also the brief. You can see we have the get classes. There is where we have the brief. Okay, classes, then we have brief. Okay, and then we have get brief classes. These ones, they also need to pass the school ID. So I'm just going to copy this. Simply pass school ID, and let's go into this one. On top here, I'm just going to say const, and we can just get a school ID is equal to await, sorry, request dot params. Now we just simply get the same thing here. We just simply pass the where school ID, not school ID, just like this. Okay, and now the only thing is to make sure when you get brief classes in the web, and I believe in, I don't know, we just meet this somewhere. If you just go here, maybe in the students page here, this is where we have like get all students in the new, actually new student. So you can see for instance get, oh, we use get all classes. Okay, so just go get here the school, so const okay, so you just say const school is equal to await get server school, and then here we can just like pass in school dot id, just like this. Okay, on get classes, and there is also get parents, so we can now just go to the parents. So wherever we have this, I'm also going to pass in the ID in the get parents. I'm passing in the same thing, get all parents, and then we have to get the school ID, which is going to be a string, and then this school ID will pass it into this. So just change this. So it has to be parents, and then we say school, and then we pass in the school ID. So here school ID, this should be this. Everything remains exactly the way it is. I'm just going to go and do school this. In the API, let's go that side. We are on the parents. Start with this here. Parents, not teachers. I don't know why I like teachers. So where we have the get parents, I'm just going to create the third here. We are going to have parents, school, and then we have the school ID. And then now we have get parents by school. School ID. I'm just going to copy this, get parents by school ID, and then go here. We just get this very one, just like this. Okay, and then we just like get one, this, give it get parents by school. The first thing to do is go ahead and get the school. So here we just get a school ID, which is going to come as a param, which is going to be in reg.params. After getting it, now we just come here and we say where, and we have school ID. Okay, so this does exactly the same thing. We have some errors. Why do we have this? How many duplicates did I do? I did 3. We have get parents, and now we have get parents by school ID. Go to back to the route and then import this now. Now we should now be having that problem is also gone. We have parents in this school. Okay, we can just go and test this also. Here, just this is the school. I'm just going to say parents. Okay, I'm just going to say parents, and then get in this school. We'll have some, you see, we have some parents. If we just go and get a different school, like for instance, this hillside, I'm just going to copy the ID, go back to this, I think it's this one. If I paste this, we don't get an empty array like that. So this one solves this also the problem. So going back to the web, moving on, we have the same thing we have to do with departments. So we have where we have get all departments. You can just go back to, we have done classes. Now we have departments, so you can see here we have get all departments. So just go here, let's get the school const school is equal to await get server school, and then after getting the school, we pass in here the school dot id, just like this. Now get all departments, and let's receive this id here. Just want to make it that this is a school id, which is going to be a string, and then we pass this to all departments. So I'm just going to go here and modify this API stroke school stroke now the school ID, just like this. Now the data is going to remain exactly the same. The only thing is to create this endpoint. So I'm just going to go back this side in the API. Let's go to the departments routes, and we need to add one more route. And you see in classes we did two things like this one, and also for the brief, similarly we're just going to get these two departments. There is this get all departments, and then will be like school, and then will be like school ID, and then this one is going to get departments by school ID. Okay, I will copy this, go to get departments, duplicate this one. So just go get departments and then rename it to this. Go inside. The first thing is get const, and let's get the school ID, and then it's going to equal to request dot params. After getting this one, we simply include the where, and we just simply add the school ID, and then put just like this. Okay, done. Okay, so similarly we just create one more, I believe. Now if I just go back to the departments, just import this one like this. Okay, we just need to do the brief one, just wherever we are using it also. So it's going to be departments brief, and then here we also pass in, how did we do it in classes? Brief school ID. Okay, we just like have to pass in the school ID. Brief. Did we just duplicate? Okay, just simply replace it. Okay, we simply replaced it, I believe. So here we don't need to duplicate this. I'm just going to put brief school school ID, and we just go to where we have departments, get brief departments. Let's go here and get this the school ID is equal to request dot params. And now we just simply say where, and then school ID, and let's put a comma here. So this also works for this now. This should now fix the departments. Okay, let's go to the next one on the web. So if you just go back to the web, inside here, we're done with classes, departments. Now it is the subjects. So subjects, you can see here we actually fetch brief departments. So just go here and say const, and then I'm just going to get school, which is going to be await get server school, and then just pass this ID here. So just say school dot ID, and let's give it a default of empty. Similarly, I'm just going to copy this and pass it in the get subjects. So both of them are right now screaming. Let's go to the get brief departments. First accept the school ID as a string, just like this, and then we pass this here. So I'm just going to go and make this. So this one we simply pass actually the ID, so $school ID, and then for the second one, which is get all subjects, now we need to pass in also the school ID, and this is going to be also a string. And then let's go to this. Let's modify this one to actually say school. So you have like here school, and then the school ID. School ID, just like this. Okay, we return back all the subjects as usual. Let's go to the subjects and also do this. So I'll just go back to the API, go to the next one, which is subjects, and we'll also just work on these two. So we'll have the subjects, and where we have actually school, and then the school ID, just like this. I'm just going to go and say get subjects now by school ID. Okay, so we're just going to create this function, get subjects, duplicate this one, and let's replace it with this. And then inside here, we just have to change two things. First, get the school ID is equal to reg.params, and then get the school ID, and then we say where. So here we just say where, and then you pass in this. Oh, wait a second. For the subjects, how do we fetch the subjects actually? So if you check right now, it doesn't have any relationships with it doesn't have any relationship with the school while we are creating the subjects. Let's see, Control P. I just want to go to the schema right now, and then let's go ahead and look for the subject. Okay, so the subject is actually dependent on the department, and we didn't uncomment the school here. Okay, so this is a problem right now, and we'll have to give it also the school. And unfortunately, we actually fetch the subjects alone. When we come to departments, where do we use these ones first of all? Let me see. So in here, just a second. So this is in the subjects. Okay. It is in the departments now. I don't know why we have to get still all the subjects for a particular school still, because you can see the subject listing. We actually have the subject listing plus the departments. Okay. If we just go in the subject listing, we have, oh, we need these when you're creating a subject. Okay. So we need to add this. So I'm just going to go back to the schema. Okay, the schema is this, is not this side. So we need to go back and add this school thing that we have added in all these others. If you go to teacher, I'm just going to copy the same relationship that we have here, the school relationship, this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste this into the subject. Okay, so I'm not reaching the subject. We just also go here and we'll add one for the just duplicate this, and we're just going to have subjects, and this is going to have subject, and just go to the subject, and then down here where we have the relationships, and add this one. Now we cannot just leave it like this. The problem is that we already have some subjects. So what we can do is maybe we give it a default. We can just say like at maybe default, I don't know. Or in this case, and if we just like make this not to require, what happens? So you can see it can actually just not accept, but we can just say at default, and I could just go to this and get any school here right now. Okay, so for instance, we created all these ones in they were inside the unique high school. So just go ahead and give right now, give them this unique thing. I don't know, I just like give this here like this. I don't know if this will save us things, because for any subject that don't have anything should default to this. Okay. Okay. This changes a little bit in things, but let me just go here and stop this server a little bit. Okay, just stop this. I need to make some push some changes, and let's go back, because before pushing we cannot have this relationship working. So you just go back here. Before we push, we cannot have this reflecting. I'm just going to wait for a second. It pushes, and then we'll have the school ID. Yeah, so after that, we can just now have school ID here, where school ID, like so, and it accepts. Okay, so we can now go back and in the routes here, and let's import this like so. Similarly, in the getting the brief, I'm just going to say this brief, and then we pass in the school ID, and then go to get brief subjects, and then I will simply go and get const. I will get the school ID from the params request dot params, and then I'm just going to do where, and then I just say school ID, like so, like that. Okay, so we are done with this. If I come back to the web, where we have this, the dashboard thing, where we have the subject, we should be now fixed with these two. Let's go back for the admin. I don't think now we go to the students. More so, there is where we have the student list, where we have get all students. We need to get and pass in that. So it's going to say const school is equal to await get server school. Okay, and then get this, and then say here this person school dot ID. Now in the get all students, let's go back here, and we're going to pass in the school ID as a string. Okay, and then here I'm just going to go here and change this API, and it's going to get this, and then we say school, and then we pass in the school ID, just like that. And there we just go to the API for the students. Let's go to the API, start from the router, we just go to the students, and we have this get students. So I'm just going to go here, I don't know if this is going to for the sequence, we check that, but for now let's just say school students school, and then we just pass in school ID, and this is going to be get students by school ID, and this go copy this, go to get students, I will simply duplicate this, okay, just come here, I will just duplicate, replace this, and inside here I will first get the school ID, const school ID is going to be request.params, and then we just do a where here, school ID. Nice. So we go back to this, and let's go ahead and call this here. Now for the sequence, really, if you just go here, student sequence, and you see how we get the next sequence, you see we go and just say db.student first, and then we are passing in find first student. Okay, but this still has to be from that school. Okay, so here still we need the ID of the school. So this thing here, sequence, I'm just going to say slash, I'm just going to pass in the school ID, because otherwise we'll be having sequence from other schools. Like you find you have 07 because some other school created, so we don't want that. Okay, so we just have student sequence and then the school ID, and then when I go to get next sequence, I will first get the school ID from the request.params, and now when we actually get first student from, just going to do also where this has to apply where student or school ID, just like this. Then this is going to get at the last student, and then we do all these nice things. So whenever you are calling this get next student, we need to pass in right now. As you can see, we have changed inside the routes of the students this route. Now you need to pass in the student, the school ID. So let's also just go and change this in the web, and specifically I think this is reflected in the new student, I believe. So in the new student, you see here we call this await next sequence. Actually it is here, so we pass in this same thing, we pass it in the next sequence, like so. Get this next sequence, we just need to give it that you have to get the school ID as a string, and then this has to be passed into this API. Sorry, just like this. So here we just have to pass in the ID, so just do this, school ID. Okay, the next one we have, if you go to the dashboard, we have done all the students. If you go inside the users, we are mainly with two things, the parents and the teachers. Let's not get tired. I know the time must have gone. Oh, we still actually have just like in 2 hours. We haven't reached 3 hours yet. So I'm just going to go in the parents and into the gate. But wait, in the students, did we check the new? Yeah. And then inside this, did we check here? Yes. So we just need to go to get to the parents, and in the parents we need first the page. This one fetches all the parents, so we need to change this and just say const school is equal to await get server. So get server school, and then here we're just going to pass in the school dot id, and then like this. It seems like we had already worked on get parents. Just check or cross farm. Just go to get parents, get this, and then parent school. So if you just go to this side, we already have the parent school ID. So this one is already working. Nice. Going back to this side, let's go back. So we are in the parents, like the page. Let's go to the new page. Okay, so for the new page, actually we are not passing in anything from outside. Nice. So the parents are done. Let's go to teachers, and let's go start with the page. So here we have get all teachers. We need to get teachers for this school. So just going to say const teachers, and then we just say school is await get server school, and then just get the school here as school dot id, and just give it this empty, and then you just go to get teachers. Let's come here and we say we need the school ID as a string, and let's go ahead and pass this here. So here you have this, and then you have stock school stroke school ID. So this one is going to be school ID. Just like this, we get the teachers. Let's go to the API and make sure that this is actually working. Where is it? This is the API. Let's go to teachers first of all, and while we have this get teachers, we just like duplicate this. We have teachers school stroke, and we have the school ID, and then go here get teachers by school ID, by school ID. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and just go to get teachers. Let's go ahead and duplicate this, and let me rename this to get teachers by school. So inside here we first get the school ID const, and just get the school ID is going to be request.params. Okay, so after getting this, and then have where school ID. Okay, great. And now when you go back to this here, let's import this. Okay, the teachers now must be working. Okay, so I think this was now solved. Get teachers by school ID. I just need to go back to the web and make sure that everything now is okay. Just go back, scrolling down here where we have teachers page. We are sorted. Now let's go to the new here. So in the new here, let's see what we need. The first one are departments. So in the departments, we actually need to pass in the school. We have the classes, all these ones, we need to pass those things. So first go ahead and just go here, const school is equal to await get server school, and then we pass. Let's start with the departments. It's the one which is screaming first. So just go and say school dot id, and then this. So for the departments, I think it is sorted. Get brief departments. If you go there, you see it actually expects it. Now if we go back, we have the brief schools. Let's go ahead and pass in also this, and we work on it. Pass in, I'm just going to go ahead and pass in this get brief, pass in here. I'm just going to pass in the school ID, which is a string, and just go ahead and call this brief, and then let's pass in the school ID. So let's go and check this subject's brief. In the API, let's go back and go back subjects brief. So you can see subjects brief, we actually already getting this. Nice. Go back to the web, and the last one is the classes. Get brief classes. We need also to pass in the school ID into this, like so. And let's go to get this. Let's pass in the school ID, and this is a string, and this is this. Go ahead and get this, also remove this, and let's pass in the school ID just like this. Let's go to the classes and we see if we have this in the API. Classes brief school ID. Go back to the classes and let's go and see brief school ID. We already have this covered, right? So go back to the web, and I believe with the teachers we are done here. Okay, because everything else is just like working on this. Here we are covered, and then let's go to the page and make sure that everything we need. So it seems like we have everything we want. I don't know. I think at this point right now we have everything under control. Let me just go back to the student directory. For instance, this should have 0 students. Nice. This has no student because this is a different school. And if I go to the academics subjects, I should have 0 subjects. Okay. Okay, you can see no subjects. If I go to departments, I should have no departments right now. Okay, so this is great. So far we have made everything to be limited to a school, which is actually makes sense. If I just go right now, log out, and let's go now log into another school, which is this one. Okay, so this one should now have details. Okay, we are now back at unique. If I just go to students, I should have now students for this. You see that is really nice. I wish you could just like, the dashboard overview. Don't we have this page? Okay, we don't have right now. We have the students dashboard. I wish you could just like use the remaining minutes to create the analytics. We have a few minutes. I feel like this dashboard page here, the way you see it here, we could just use a bit of analytics, okay, for this school at least, so that this information we can just like simply clean out some of the things here. Okay, I'm just going to try to clean out some of the things to have some information which matches this school. And this even overview, I will change this link to the dashboard. Can I first do that in this? Just go to the app sidebar, and where we have the dashboard for now, where we have the dashboard, this one where we have the overview. I just want this to also just link to the dashboard. Okay. I want to get in analytics. How many teachers, students, like those ones that we have in the school. Basically, I need to create and give also these, maybe these links here. For view details, I don't know how we're going to add this. Like if you say this, we'll see. But let's go ahead and create a link that's going to give us like an endpoint for analytics. So I will go back to the API and go in routes. We just need any of the routes, just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and this is going to be give it analytics. And then inside here, I'm just going to go ahead and just say analytics router, and just like copy this router and just like this. Okay, now we just want most of the gate. Okay, so this is going to be analytics. Of course, we have also to pass in the school, right? So analytics, and then school, and then we pass in the school ID, just like this. And then I will just go and get this, get analytics. By school ID, get analytics, by school ID. Okay, we need to create this function, but where? So first, let's go inside the controllers. I just go also just duplicate the admin, rename this one still to analytics, and we don't need to create right now. I'm just going to stick to gate. So just gate, we could just actually go and get this function we created here, and then we just go back here and just paste this get. So the first thing is to get the school ID. School ID is equal to request.params, and then from there we just now get different things. Okay, what things do we need? We need all these ones we have here. How many classes, departments? But for now, the most important things, I think, for we could just say we could just have, I don't know how many do we need here, but we could just say the students are important. So we could just say, for instance, students. Okay, and db.student. So here we just I think we could just actually for the particular school, so I would just say for these ones, the teachers, okay, The good way I would do this, what would be the good way? I don't know, like doing particular fetches, or because I could do this from user, for instance. Okay, from user. Okay, and I find dot count. So here you want the count, but I need also where. Okay, so here I'm just going to pass in the where. The first one is the school ID, and 2 is the role. For instance, for this, I would have the student. So this one would give me the student count. So if I want teachers, I will do the same thing. I will say teachers in the same school where the role is like teacher, and then I would have the parents. Okay, parents. I would have the role here as parent. So these I would understand like these are like the students. Now I could get also for instance, how many teachers, students. What one is very interesting also to get would be maybe the classes they have. Let's just like also get back the classes. Okay. So classes, I'm just going to go here and just say, for instance, this one's going to get the actual class, and then we don't need the role, but then we need the school ID. So you're just going to go and say const result is equal to, so I just create an object. So this should get back an object. Okay, and this object is going to have what? Will it get an object or an array? Okay, definitely is going to be an array because we need to map for these cards. So you can see each card, like we have the count, we have the title, and then we have the count, and maybe the link to the details. Okay, for that, I don't know if we'll get that. Now also we'll cater for the year. Okay, in the future here, I think like in the next episode, I will make these analytics vary for each particular year. For instance, last week, this month, and all these. I will do this here. Okay, so I will, for now, I'm just going to do this return, for instance, an object. So let's say the first object is going to be title. For instance, we can start from app students. So we can say students, and then we have the count, which is going to be students. So for now, I'm just going to put, only those two. I believe I'm just going to put only these two here. Yeah, let me first do this, the title and the count. So we have, for instance, teachers, and then teachers, sorry, I will have teachers, and then teachers, and then I will have parents, and then here you have like parents, and then lastly I will have like classes, and then here classes. Okay, something like this. And now let's go ahead and return the result. So if you look at the type to this, we do the type for now, just return response, and I'm returning the result just like this. Go back here and let's go this. So we have to hit this endpoint analytics school. I'm just going to go to the web. First of all, let's go to any place like here, and let's get the analytics. And the create, we don't want the create. What we need is actually this. Also the delete is, we don't want this. I just want to get, maybe get our analytics. And this is going to take in the school ID. It's going to be a string, and now we come and tap into this API, which should be something like analytics, and then like school, and then school ID, just like this. Then whatever we just get, the analytics, so I'm just going to say analytics. Now let's just go ahead and create this type. I'm just going to create here like export type analytics. So if you remember, this is an array. So analytics, it has a title, I believe. Let me see. So it has a title and count. So I'm just going to go back here. We have title and count. So title, which is a string, and count, which is a number. So we just came here and I'll just say here analytics as an array like this. So wherever we just go, I can just get the analytics in the dashboard here, or where we just have this. You can just remove this. So here you can just go ahead and get analytics const analytics is equal to weight. What did I do? Okay, let's say get analytics. Like, is it get all analytics? And let's pass in the school. So just say const school is equal to await gates of school, and then let's go here and pass in school dot ID, and just like this. Now these analytics, we can just give them a default of an empty array. And then let's go here, get these analytics, and let's pass them to the dashboard details like this. go to the dashboard details. So here we have a couple of things that I will actually first stop, and we leave only the analytics. Okay, and even this part of analytics, we will only show it if the analytics is, so I'm just going to do this, and I will say if analytics. Okay, first come and pass in analytics. Analytics just like this. We can just get analytics array, and now I can just say analytics dot length greater than 0. If this is true, then we can just go and paste this. So from here we can now just map through this. So I'm just going to go ahead and have only one card, and the rest of the cards I don't want them. Okay, I just only want one card, and let's go ahead and map through this analytics. So analytics dot map have access to a single item, and let's go ahead and return the card like this. First thing is the key. If you look at the item, it has only a few things because the analytics has a few. So just go say key is going to be I'm just going to maintain the index here, and we just have the total sales, which is going to be item dot title, and the count, which is going to go here, item dot count. Now for this one, I actually want to add to local string, just add a comma. And then for the view details, I don't know, we can just first leave this. And then for the icon, also the icon, I'm just going to leave it that way. So going back here, we are in unique high school, and it seems like there is no any analytics. Let's first go and see for the unique high school. Go and check this API endpoint. So we could just go and duplicate this folder, and I will just give this one analytics. I will go to create. I just want to delete this one. Really, I'm just going to delete this. I only need the gate. So analytics, gate analytics. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this endpoint, analytics school, and then the ID. Let me just get the school ID for the unique high school. Go back to analytics. Let's pass in, what is this? Get the school, Control C, get analytics, pass in this, send. Okay, so first of all, cannot get this endpoint. Okay, so the problem here is that we didn't actually link this router in the index. So index, go and have the analytics router. So we have this analytics router that we actually didn't put. So now let's hit the endpoint, this should now return the analytics for the school. Yeah, you can see you have the students 2, teachers, parents 3. So if we refresh right now, we should get back the analytics. Okay. Okay, so these cards will improve these how these cards look like. Actually, there is another project where I was working, and I think I have these cards somewhere. I don't know, was it like this one or it was V0? Let me just try V0. I need to have the cards that look much better. Let's look at what I have created previously. What's the time right now? Oh, okay. This is moving so fast. Statistics, I think it must be this one. Okay, I just need to see the cards, and then just like I will improve it. There is where I was working on certain project, and I added these cards. So I just need the cards to actually just look somehow like this. We'll add also something like this in the future. We could add it today, but time, I mean the time is really moving. But let's just go here to where I have the statistic card. This is the card I need to actually use. One thing is going to be different here. Just go first get the card. Okay, so go back to this. We could just have this as a separate card, but I'm just going to paste this here. Paste this here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put here item.title. So this is item.title, and this is going to be item.count, and to local string, this is to put the comma if this is in 1000 and plus. Then this one, I'm just going to say layout grid. This layout dashboard or layout grid. Okay, then we have this color thing. Now we could just like choose only one, really, like one color here, or we could give each individual like a color. And how you can do that, if you just go here, you can just create literally an array of colors, okay, of which I can do here, like put on top here a list of any colors I want, and then as you are passing in here on the color, you use the index. So you can just come and copy this. In fact, just go ahead and just say const color. I'm just going to go here and get the color more so inside here. So const just like this, color. I don't need this and this. So this one is the I, or the index, and I will also just come here and give this as the key, my index, and then while we have color is going to remain color, just like that. And for this view report, this is going to be a link. that we can remove or leave, this is upon us. Just change this to blue, and this can be view details. Okay, so this is exactly the same thing where the cards now have like different colors. Okay, I feel like the space, we don't have enough space on the dashboard. We could just simply do this. Okay, just a few here. The dashboard. On this, we could just increase to 8. Oh, what did I do? I thought they changed it to 8. They just refresh. Okay, so you can see like this, that we have that. And I thought we have the error page. Do we have the error page? Yeah, we have the error page and this not found. Okay, so we have at least this for a particular school as like 2 students, 2 teachers, 2 parents, and this. Now, we could just also hack into different icons. We'll see how we can do that. So far, we don't have also links to these details. We can define these links also like on the backend, but this will find a way to do this on the front end. We'll have to find a way how to render different items. The colors are very easy, but then these detailed links, I don't know how we are going to actually do it. But for now, if we log out and we log in into another school, I'm just going to use Okiling with in another school. Let me just do something like just like try to log in another school. We look at the stats. Okay, like what does this give us, or what does this look like? So you can see we are in Hillside and everything is 0 0 plus 1 class, of course. Okay, so this is great. This is really great right now. We have been able to make the school right now. Each school can log in and find the associative data in that. So thank you so much for watching this. Of course, I'm just going to go ahead and deploy. I will just go ahead and push this before we leave. For the web, okay, so just going to say git add dot and git commit -m, just going to say added school-based data, maybe just like a nice name, school-based data. And then git push. Okay, so actually I'm also thinking people who are just going to I'm thinking of adding these people who are buying the source code is in this repo direct. I will add them into these repositories. They can clone them, they can do anything with the repositories, instead of just like uploading, I will just simply put them in the repositories. This will be very easy for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and push this, and I will also just gonna push this on the API. Remember, this will not work right away, so let's just go and push this. Okay, git add, git commit, added school based, maybe endpoints of data, just push. Okay, so this now we see online. So the people who want to grab the source code, I might just like put when you log in, I will put either a form that you submit your credentials, and then I will add you to the source code. Those people who are going to access that. Okay, yeah, we do that. We just simply go and look for a way of adding you guys in the source code direct, so that you can just like get every time I push new changes, you just get them right away. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I will see you in the next one.